Okay, so have you heard about this RTT therapy for anxiety?
Oh, yeah, I've been seeing it around.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into it. We're going to be looking at some info from Monica. She's a certified hypnotherapist and RTT therapist, and she founded this place called Lifelift. So we want to understand exactly what RTT is and how it works.
Mm-hmm.
We also want to look at, does it actually help with anxiety, panic attacks, all that stuff?
Yeah, does it live up to the hype?
Right. And then ultimately, is it a good fit, for the average person dealing with anxiety? And one of the interesting things about RTT is that it uses a bunch of different therapeutic approaches. So it's got hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, even NLP and CBT. It's not just about coping mechanisms, It's about finding the root cause of the anxiety and actually addressing that.
Okay, so getting to the bottom of it.
Yeah, exactly. And we're also going to look at some real life success stories.
Ooh, I like those.
Yeah, they're really interesting. There's this one woman, Sarah, who had really debilitating anxiety for over a decade. And RTT really helped her turn her life around.
I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that later.
So, what is it about RTT that makes it so different?
Well, one of the key things is that it recognizes that just managing symptoms isn't enough,
Yeah.
It really digs deep to find those underlying causes of anxiety.
Okay, and where do they usually come from?
Well, a lot of times it goes back to past experiences,
Hmm.
Things that happen to us that shape our beliefs and behaviors.
Right, like those events that really stick with you.
Exactly.
So how does RTT actually help uncover those past experiences and, I guess, change the way we think about them?
It's like instead of just patching up the cracks, it addresses the foundation of the problem.
Oh, I like that analogy.
So RTT helps you uncover those past experiences.
Okay.
And then it helps you reframe those negative thought patterns and beliefs that are at the core of the anxiety.
Reframing negative beliefs, what does that actually look like?
Well, it starts with identifying those limiting beliefs that are tied to those past experiences, right? Then you kind of challenge how valid those beliefs are.
Okay, so you're not just accepting them as truth anymore.
Exactly. And then ultimately, you replace them with more empowering beliefs.
So it's like you're not just reliving the past, but you're changing how you view it and how it affects you today.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. It sounds like it taps into that whole neuroplasticity thing, the brain's ability to rewire itself.
Yeah, exactly. By revisiting past experiences and reframing beliefs, RTT helps create these new neural pathways.
So it's not just a temporary fix, it's about creating lasting change.
Right, exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it seems like RTT takes this really holistic approach. It combines all these different therapeutic techniques to create a powerful impact.
Okay, so we've talked about the why, but I still don't quite understand the what. What exactly is RTT and how does it all work?
Well, let's break it down a bit. So RTT stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy. And as we mentioned, it's like this hybrid therapy that pulls from the strengths of hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, NLP, and CBT.
Oh, okay, so it's like it takes the best of all those approaches.
Exactly, yeah. Each of those approaches has its own unique tools, and when you combine them, you get this synergistic effect that can lead to really fast, transformative results.
I'm curious about the NLP part. I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, so NLP stands for neuro-linguistic programming. And it's basically the study of how our thoughts, our language, and our behaviors all work together and how they interact to create our experiences,
Okay.
So in RTT, NLP techniques are used to help you understand and change your thought patterns, particularly the ones that are contributing to your anxiety.
So it's about getting to the root of those negative thoughts and kind of rewiring them to be more positive.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
And then you've got CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy. And that focuses on identifying and challenging those unhelpful thoughts and behaviors that we all have. It gives you practical tools for managing anxiety in everyday situations. And that complements the deeper work done through hypnotherapy and NLP.
So it's like it gives you this toolbox of techniques to manage your anxiety, both in the long term and in the moment when it's really flaring up.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so I think I'm getting the bigger picture now. But can we walk through a typical RTT session? What actually happens?
Yeah, definitely. So it all starts with an initial consultation. And this is your chance to talk with the therapist, to discuss your specific needs and goals, make sure the therapy is actually tailored to your situation.
So it's personalized.
Yeah, exactly. It's also about building rapport and trust with the therapist.
That makes sense. You got to feel comfortable.
Right. And then once that foundation is established, the therapist will guide you into a state of deep relaxation.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, it is. They'll use techniques like guided imagery, progressive relaxation, stuff like
It
that.
makes sense. Got to be relaxed to get into those deeper levels of the mind.
Exactly. That's where those root causes can hide.
So then what?
Well, this is where things get really interesting. The therapist uses regression techniques to help you safely revisit those past experiences that might be causing your anxiety.
Wait, so you're actually going back to those potentially traumatic experiences?
Yeah, but it's important to emphasize that this is done in a really controlled environment, okay? You've got a trained therapist guiding you every step of the way.
So you're not just thrown back into those memories without any support?
No, absolutely not. The therapist is there to keep you safe and guide you through it in a way that's actually therapeutic and empowering.
Okay, that's good to know. So let's say you've identified the root cause. How does RTT help you change those deeply ingrained negative thoughts and beliefs?
Well, that's where the reframing comes in. The therapist helps you challenge how true those negative beliefs really are. And then you replace them with more positive and empowering ones.
Okay.
They might use techniques like positive affirmations, visualization, maybe even metaphors, and all of that helps you create a new story around those past experiences.
It's like you're rewriting your own history in a way that's actually healthy for you.
Exactly. That's a great way to think about it.
So is that it?
Well, to make sure those new positive beliefs stick, you're given a personalized audio recording, and you listen to it every day.
Oh, interesting.
The idea is to immerse yourself in these positive affirmations and visualizations so they can really sink into your subconscious.
It's like a daily dose of positivity for your brain.
Right, yeah. And then, after some time, you'll have a follow-up session with the therapist. And this is a chance to check in on your progress, fine-tune the therapy, and address any new issues that might have come up.
So it's not just a one-time thing, it's an ongoing process.
Exactly. RTT is about giving you the power to take control of your anxiety and create lasting change.
That makes sense. But all this sounds very theoretical. Can you give me an example of how RTT has actually helped someone?
Of course, we'll get to that. But first, we need to take a quick break. We'll be right back with some inspiring success stories. Okay, so before the break, we were talking about how RTT can actually help people,
Yeah.
with real-life anxiety.
Yeah, those success stories.
Right,
Yeah.
and how it can be applied to different types of anxiety, not just generalized anxiety.
Right, like those more specific anxiety.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So are you ready to hear about some of those inspiring success stories?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So let's start with Anna. Anna had these panic attacks, and they were really severe. Like, they were impacting her everyday life.
Oh, wow.
She couldn't go to crowded places, always afraid of having another attack. It was holding her back in so many ways.
It's like you're trapped in your own fear.
Right, it's exhausting. She had tried therapy, medication, all that, but she still felt like she was, like, walking on eggshells, you know, never knowing when the next panic attack would hit.
I can only imagine.
But here's the fascinating thing. Through RTT, Anna was actually able to uncover this specific childhood experience, and it was directly linked to her panic attacks.
Like a root cause buried deep down.
Yeah, exactly.
So it wasn't actually the crowded places that were causing the panic. It was more like her subconscious mind was connecting those places to some past trauma.
Right, exactly.
And by addressing that root cause and reframing the beliefs around it, Anna was able to actually reduce the frequency and intensity of her panic attacks.
Yeah, she made incredible progress.
It's amazing how powerful the subconscious mind is,
It can create problems and AD solve them.
Right.
And Anna's story is a great example of how RTT can help people who haven't found lasting relief through those more traditional methods.
Yeah, those traditional therapies and medications don't always work for. While these success stories are really inspiring, it's important to remember that everyone's experience with RTT will be different, right?
Of course, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's important to have realistic expectations when trying any kind of therapy.
Right, for sure.
But these stories do show that there's hope out there.
Definitely. There are solutions out there for people struggling with anxiety.
And RTT offers this powerful, transformative approach that has the potential to create real change, lasting change.
And don't forget about self-compassion. Overcoming anxiety takes time and effort. It's okay to have setbacks along the way.
That's so important. It's about progress, not perfection.
Right.
And even small steps forward can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
So for anyone listening who's feeling discouraged or overwhelmed, just remember to be kind to yourself and celebrate every win, no matter how small.
And remember, you don't have to go through this alone. There are resources, support systems, therapists like Monica who are there to help.
Yeah, that's a great reminder.
Yeah.
Speaking of Monica, I know we've mentioned her before, but I think it's worth highlighting her expertise again, especially for those who might be considering reaching out.
Definitely. She's a wealth of knowledge.
So, as we said earlier, Monica Chugnal is a certified hypnotherapist, an RTT therapist, and a therapeutic life coach.
She's got it all.
And she's also certified as an RTC coach, which stands for Rapid Transformational Coach.
Wow, that's a lot of letters after her name.
I know, right? She's incredibly qualified.
Clearly.
And beyond her qualifications, Monica is just so passionate about helping people overcome anxiety and find real transformation. That's why she founded Lifelift, to empower people to live their best lives.
I love that.
Right. She's so dedicated to helping people.
It's inspiring.
It really is. So if you're intrigued by RTT and want to learn more, I highly recommend reaching out to Monica.
Okay, and how do you do that?
Well, she offers a free discovery call.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a chance to ask questions, share your concerns, and see if RTT is a good fit for you.
So no pressure.
No pressure at all. It's just a conversation.
That's great.
And during that call, Monica can also give you more insights into the technique she uses, her approach to therapy, and what you can expect from the whole RTT process.
So it's a good opportunity to connect with her and get a feel for whether it's right for you.
Exactly. It's a chance to connect with a really knowledgeable and compassionate therapist, and to learn more about this potentially life-changing approach to overcoming anxiety.
I like that. So now that we've talked about all those individual experiences, I'm curious to shift gears a bit. What are some of the broader takeaways about RTT and its potential for transforming lives?
So we've covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
We've talked about how RTT works, heard some amazing success stories, and learned about Monica and all her expertise. But before we wrap things up, I want to make sure we highlight the key takeaways about RTT,
Okay, good idea.
the things we really want our listeners to remember. What do you think is the most important thing for people to understand about RTT?
I think it's that RTT doesn't just try to manage your symptoms. It really digs deep to uncover the root cause of your anxiety. And a lot of times that root cause is tied to past experiences, you know?
Right, and the beliefs we form around those experiences.
Exactly.
It's like instead of just putting a Band-Aid on the problem, RTT helps you address it at the source.
It's like getting to the bottom of things.
Right, yeah.
And by revisiting those past experiences and reframing those beliefs, you can actually start to create a new story for yourself.
A story that's more empowering and helps you move forward.
Exactly.
So it's like rewriting your personal narrative in a way that actually supports your well-being, you know?
Yeah, I like that.
Another important takeaway is that RTT combines all these different therapeutic approaches, right?
Right. It's not just one thing.
It takes the best of hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, NLP, CBT. It's like having this toolbox full of powerful techniques that all work together to help you overcome your anxiety.
I like that analogy, the toolbox.
And of course, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. RTT is tailored to each individual's needs and goals.
You need to find a therapist who really gets you and can guide you through the process in a way that feels right.
Exactly, someone you feel safe and comfortable with.
Absolutely.
And speaking of support, it's so important to remember that you don't have to go through this alone, whether it's a therapist like Monica or a support group or even your friends and family.
Create your support system.
Having those people around you can make such a difference.
That's huge.
And one last thing I want to emphasize is self-compassion. Overcoming anxiety, it's a journey. It's not a destination, you know.
Yeah.
There will be ups and downs along the way. So be kind to yourself. Celebrate your progress, and don't let those setbacks discourage you.
It's about progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
Just keep moving forward.
So if you're listening and you're feeling held back by anxiety, maybe RTT is something you should consider.
It could be a good fit.
Yeah, it might be the key to unlocking a calmer, more confident you.
If it resonates with you, it's definitely worth exploring.
Absolutely. And remember, there's no shame in seeking help.
Not at all.
In fact, taking that first step towards healing, that's a sign of strength.
It takes courage to face your challenges head on.
And if you're interested in RTT, I highly recommend reaching out to Monica for that free discovery call. It's a great way to learn more and see if it's right for you.
It's a no-pressure way to explore your options.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on RTT therapy for anxiety, I want to leave everyone with a sense of hope. You have the power to overcome anxiety. You can live a life that's full of joy and peace and fulfillment.
You're not alone in this journey. and there are effective solutions out there. So keep exploring, keep seeking support, and keep believing in yourself.
You've got this.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive. We hope you found this exploration helpful, and we hope it's given you a renewed sense of hope and empowerment. Until next time, keep diving deep into those topics that matter to you, and keep seeking out those solutions that can lead you to a brighter, more fulfilling life.